Hello folks, I am back and I'm here to do a video about the state of Kimber. You either love Kimbers or you hate Kimbers. And I'm just going to let you know, I'm not a fanboy of Kimber, but I like some of their products and that's what you're going to see here. Number one, also, all firearms are going to be are safety checked prior to this video. I didn't want to go through all that to roughly save time. So let's get with it. I first heard about Kimber in 2014, and I really got interested in Kimbers because I was a really big 1911 fan. So the first Kimber I bought was the Super Carry Ultra. Uh, and the Super Carry Ultra, I really liked the firearm. I was singing its praises, and this was around the time I first started my YouTube channel. I liked the gun so much that I got a, a stainless steel 2 Ultra, which is about the same size as the Super Carry Ultra. They're about 3-inch barrel, compact size, like an officer's model. Then I decided to pick up a Raptor 2. Now, this Raptor 2 here is probably my favorite Kimber of all my Kimbers. As you see here, there's a comp on here. But this is one of my favorite Kimbers of all time. I had no malfunctions with this. I have over 1,000 rounds with this. And the funny part is I went through someone's YouTube channel and I mentioned that I have not had any malfunctions on this. Well, Mr. Guns and Gear responded to that and he left 6 words. He said, "I find that hard to believe." And I was really confused by him saying that he found that hard to believe. So I went on another range session and I was shooting my Super Carry Ultra and my Stainless 2 Ultra, and I guess Mr. Guns and Gear jinxed me. A box of 50 for my Super Carry Ultra, I had 20 malfunctions. A box of 50 in my Stainless Steel 2, I had multiple malfunctions up to 20 as well. I tried everything, changed mags, lubed, everything else, and I said, there must be something to what Mr. Guns and Gear is saying. And I've also checked online, other people had other issues with Kimbers as well. And this is why a lot of people don't like Kimbers. During that time, my Raptor 2 was the only Kimber. I sold those other 2 Kimbers and I was very disgusted. And I said I would never buy a Kimber again. So during that time, in around 2016, Kimber introduced a firearm called the Solo. The Solo was a striker fire firearm, and at that time, I started working at the gun store that I'm working at now. And there are some people who bought the Solo, and their people complained about certain issues. Uh, After that, and that was a striker fire firearm. After that, there was the Kimber EVO SP. Now, there was some mixed reviews about that firearm, which came out in 2019, that some people had some malfunctions, some people didn't have malfunctions with them, and it is up in the air. The only decent one that I found in that compact size, and both of those striker fire firearms that I'm talking about are pretty much your compact concealed carry size. The only decent one that I found that worked pretty well, my friend owns a Kimber Micro 9. I shot that thing and it's more like a Micro 1911. I shot that thing and it worked flawless, no problems. And that is the really decent one, firearm that's outside of the full-size 1911s. So moving on from there, I was watching, I believe it was SHOT Show around 2019. I was watching a lot of coverage, and this girl named Rachel, she was talking about the new lines of Kimbers and how the company had revamped themselves. So what I did was I started watching, and then they had discontinued a firearm called the Aegis Elite. It had originally wood grips. So I saw the video. I liked the video, and I purchased this one. This was my first Aegis Elite. Later on, I said, let me get a matching set. This Aegis Elite, by the way, is in 45. This one is in 9mm. So I said, I want to get a 1911 that at least has an optic on it. The optic was great. works perfectly fine. And then she mentioned about the KHX series, which was another new model at the time, and that's this one here. This is a 9 millimeter version as well. And again, as you see, I'm going optic at this point. And here's the full size 45 ACP version. Now, when I first got this firearm, unfortunately, when I was shooting it, it had its growing pains, and I was getting worried. I said, "All right, here we go. The Kimber curse is about to get me." I had 10 malfunctions. This is over a period of, let's say, um, I would say over 500 rounds. You know, Kimber has that 500 round, what you call a break-in period. Everything worked fine afterwards, and I even put a comp on it for aesthetics. And I've had no problems with this since its so-called break-in period. But I had no issues or anything else. Then tragedy stuck. Yep, it happened. Kimber had a recall on this firearm, and this firearm. What all three of these have in common is they are either optic ready or already optic installed. Now, the problem, what was going on is it was something about the plate, how it was milled in, that possibly that the optic would fly off, or etc. All kinds of other issues. So now I'm upset, saying, "All right, I should have listened to a lot of the critics out there about Kimber products." I contacted Kimber. Basically, they had their recall set up, and their customer service, to their credit, was very, very good, very outstanding. And what I did was, they only asked me to send the slides. I sent all 3 slides back and received those slides back within 2 to 3 weeks. Everything was fine afterwards, and it is a testament to Kimber's customer service. Their customer service is very good, and they pretty much do very well with responding. I don't know how anybody else's customer service issues were, but they've always been good with me. During that same time period, I think the only saving grace that Kimber had was this. It was their first revolver. It is called the K6S. The K6S is a really, really nice firearm, and one of the unique things about this is the 357. This is their only revolver on the market. They did something with the cylinder so it would not be as bulky, and as you see, in this compact size. Now, this comes in various barrel lengths as well as a internal hammer as well. The firearm is very good, has a really good trigger for a double action trigger on these models. And a lot of people are really surprised at how they really love these triggers. At the time I got this pre-pandemic. The pandemic, this was before that. The price for this during that time was somewhere around $780. Now that the pandemic is over, you are only able to get this probably at $1089. I think that Kimber overpriced this firearm. If you want to compete in the market with other revolver companies such as Smith & Wesson, because Smith & Wessons have some revolvers from 400 and all the way up. But if you're new on the block, I don't think you should be charging that much, and you're new on the block when it comes to revolvers or something like that. I don't think you should be charging that much, because people look at it at the shop I work at, they touch it, they feel it, they look at the price tag, and they put it down and buy the Smith or buy a Ruger or buy whatever. And that is the thing that's killing this particular firearm. It's the price. And it is, like I said, a very good firearm. Now, the other thing that's going on in 2021 to 2022, I'm going to backtrack a little bit before I get into the Kimber that I'm about to talk to you about on the recall. But I'm going to backtrack that I forgot to mention during the 2019-2020 period, 2019 there was a gun called the Repeat. The Repeat was, I don't own a Repeat, but the Repeat came in black and it had a gold barrel. Now that firearm was very good. I know people that had them, shot them, they loved them. Once they changed the color of the firearm and made it the Repeat Ice, unfortunately, I have people saying that they had multiple malfunctions. I've witnessed people have malfunctions with the Repeat Ice, and they've had them shipped back to Kimber and so forth. And even a guy I subscribe to and talk to, his name is Smash Time. He had a Repeat Ice that was in 10 millimeter. He had some issues that he had to send his firearm back. So I don't know what's going on with that particular firearm. Maybe they should have left it as the Repeat Black. I don't know what's going on. Now let's move over to the now 2021 to 2022 with the Kimber R7 Mako. This was supposed to be their third attempt to with a striker fired firearm, and there was some good reviews on it. But unfortunately, Kimber had a recall on this particular firearm, and unfortunately, it seems like Kimber is has these quality control issues. You you have some people that have good experiences like me on certain firearms. Then you have others that have to send in their firearms, and I'm telling you right now, like I said, those first two Kimbers, I got rid of them, and that's what people are doing. They're either getting rid of them or they're pausing to buy these particular firearms from Kimbers. Um, One of the things about what's going on is a lot of people, young people, are getting into the 1911 phase and they want to see what's the difference and they want to get away from polymer and expand their horizons. But when you ask me to recommend a 1911 and they look at it in the case versus other ones, I'm going to say this, and I don't mean to disrespect Kimber, but I'm going to recommend a Springfield Garrison or uh, the Ronin because I want people to be able to have something that's flawless. Now, the new Kimber Stainless 2 has been pretty much bomb proof that I see people buy and use at the range. I do see people buy them and they don't have any problems. They pretty much like them. But like I said, I do refer people to other 1911s outside of Kimber. And like I said, I don't mean any disrespect to Kimber, but as you see here, I have 7 Kimbers right here, right now. Um, One of the things I think Kimber really needs to do is to really tighten up on their quality control. I am a big 1911 fan. Rather my 1911s be made in the USA. That's the way I am about 1911s. And I want Kimber to do well and to be that company that makes decent 1911s because I'm not buying a 1911 from another country. I'd rather my 1911s be made here in the USA. I know maybe Kimber. Now, this is a history that's going on with some inconsistency with their quality control for a very long time. But however, I know that they left New York. I think they were in Yonkers before. They left New York, and now they moved to Troy, Alabama. I think that move happened sometime in 2000, January of 2008. Well, it happened in 2018, and I think they moved their corporate headquarters there in 2020. So hopefully, uh, they can get on the ball, knock out these quality control issues. Because I tell you, the girl named Rachel who was doing the SHOT Show, she got me to pick up at least four or five of these Kimbers. Was I wanted these to be a matching set, as well as this one to be a matching set, the KHX series. And she showed this revolver. So Kimber has a great salesperson in her. Uh, and a lot of people ask me, do I trust a Kimber with my life? What Kimber do I trust with my life. Now, I told you that I'm a big fan of the Raptor 2, so I eventually, in a couple of my videos later, found a Raptor 2 in stainless. I love this firearm. I think this firearm is very good. I like the bull barrel, the design, and I do believe this will work to protect my life. I shot numerous rounds with no malfunctions with this firearm whatsoever. The only thing I did was put a Wilson Combat magwell here. This is the fake one where you hook on to the bottom. Left everything the same and just added a Wilson Combat uh, slide release. That's the only thing I did with this firearm altogether. And I'm a big fan of the Raptor series. And this is one that I trust with my life. The second one that I trust with my life is this one. This is what I said, it was the Aegis Elite. Actually, I think the Aegis Elite shoots better than the Raptor. And I think it's because if you can see down in there, it doesn't have the safety plunger. Like this one doesn't have the safety plunger, and the trigger feels a lot better. So when you look at the Raptor 2, the 2 designation means that it has the safety plunger. I don't know if you can see that right there, that little safety plunger. I think it makes a big difference when it comes to the trigger mechanism. And again, with both of these firearms have not failed. I have over 1,000 rounds in this one, 1,000 rounds in this one, as well as this one's going on 1,800 rounds. This one is not even quite there yet. I might have 1,000 in this, and this is another carry one I carry here and there. The 9mm versions of these Kimbers are very good because you have that bull barrel, and they basically feed well with no issues with the feed ramp in there. So I don't want to make this video too long, but I'm just going to say this about Kimber. I think Kimber needs to work with their quality control a great deal. I mean, they make good-looking handguns, no doubt about it. They make great-looking handguns, but what's a look going to do if the firearm does not work at all, or it's not reliable to defend your life? And like I said, hey, Kimber, I want you to do well. I want you to succeed. Hey, if you want me to test them for you, sure, that's fine. But look, you got to tighten up on that quality control, because the stigmatism that people have about your firearms, people don't trust, or they feel as though that there is no, they feel as though that you're not what you're saying that you are, that you're the great firearms 1911 company that you should be. I think one of your slogans is what all firearms should be. Tighten up on that quality control. Don't worry about too much about the aesthetics too much. And I think you'll have more people that will buy your products. So I know I run over on this video. I didn't mean to make it too long, but I had to say this because people are asking me about Kimber products and whether I would stake my life to them. Like I said, these two. But other than that, tighten up on that. Don't worry about the aesthetics, and you will be able to compete with the likes of other 1911 companies. I want you to succeed because you're an American company. With that said, happy shooting, stay safe, #2A.